All right, welcome back to the Jason Gray Show. All right, Donald Trump flew out of Florida, landed in New York, didn't get arrested on the tarmac, and he is in his home on Trump Tower. So let's sort of see what happens here over the next 24 hours. It's going to be fireworks for everyone, but I want to sort of take all the research I've done and sort of summarize everything that I've sort of, put together for you. And hopefully this helps you, guide you through this process a little bit more in a very simple format, and try to keep everyone's biased opinions out of it and just sort of let you know what the facts are. So this stems, of course, from the Stormy Daniels case, and there were 34 counts, and they were felony counts, and we'll have a good idea tomorrow what happens with those felony counts. Now, there really should be misdemeanor counts if you really sort of look at it. But, of course, when we get the information out of there, it'll explain why they sort of made these felony counts. Now, this is interesting because it leads us into other investigations that they have outstanding on Donald Trump. So Alvin Braggs, the Manhattan District Attorney, he sort of threw this one out here. And it's almost like they threw the bomb out and saying, let's see how everyone reacted to it. And then we're going to have these other three counts. So let's talk about the other three counts, or the other three things that is looking at him right now. So you have the January 6th issue, you have the Georgia election interference issue, and then you have the classified documents in Mar-a-Lago. That's another issue. Now, the funny thing about that one is they subpoenaed the Secret Service, and the Secret Service that they subpoenaed are going to testify in front of a grand jury in D.C. About their knowledge of those secured documents. Now, that's happened on Friday, and so what does the Secret Service do, and how did that goes? So you got these four things. You got Stormy Daniels, January 6th. You got the classified documents, and the Georgia election interference. So lots of stuff is coming out of him. His lawyers are scrambling. I'm sure they've got teams for each one of these that's going after each one of these cases. But, man, he's got a lot on his plate. There's no doubt about it. And this has created a situation for Donald Trump where he's becoming stronger and stronger and stronger with the Republican base. And what do I mean by that? Before this indictment happened, Donald Trump was leading DeSantis by 12 points, which was still a very big lead. But right now, the latest poll, he's leading by 33 points. And so it's nothing but made him stronger. There were massive donations in those first 24, 48 hours of like $4.5 or $5 million donated to his cause in that first little bit of time. This is a marketing genius situation for Donald Trump. He can just go on this and say, they're after me, throw me some money, I need defense legal funds, I need this and that. And his supporters are going to throw millions upon millions of dollars at him. So those lawyers that he's got in the backup, they're going to get paid because he's going to generate enough money through his campaigning to do this. Now, he'll have two separate funds, his campaign fund and then his funds for his lawyers over here. He's going to be fine. Now, you got to take a look, like the state of New York and what's sort of happening with crime and burglaries and rapes and assaults and all this stuff. You see videos of people just being hit out of the blue and knocked out. It's a sad state. New York, to live in New York right now would be ridiculous. But in doing so, Mr. Bragg, the DA over there, is taking a lot of these felony charges and dropping them down to misdemeanors. It sounds like a higher percentage, by 54% than normal, are those things being downgraded. And as a New Yorker, I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad that they're going after Trump, let alone, going after people that are really affecting your day in and day out livability situation in New York. And so it's a real struggle to sort of see all this come about. Now, if he did some crimes, he needs to do the time, right? Let's be real. But it does feel like there's a double standard between these parties. And it's almost like the Republican Party just sort of sits back and they, are you going to see the Republican Party come out there and protest by hundreds of thousands of people and then start, just lighting fires on buildings and cars and ransacking a bunch of stores? more than likely not. And if there is, there's some usually bad actors that are on the other side to make it look that way. But at the same point in time is you're not going to see that a Republican Party. But what you are going to see is them sort of band together a little bit stronger. And you sort of see, you know, other presidential hopefuls in the race all saying how this is a disgrace, how they're politicizing the, you know, the judicial office. And I really do think there's a lack of faith between the U.S. citizens and what's happening with the judicial system, the FBI, and whatnot. I think there is a really big disconnect on faith of what's happening. And if you do sort of lose that faith, you sort of lose everything. And what I mean by that is, let me give you an example of people walking into a Target store now and they can just go steal $900 worth of stuff with no recourse. That's the craziest thing ever. And you sort of lose faith because nothing's going to happen to you. So why doesn't everyone do it? Well, everyone thinks they're going to get in trouble. So they're like, why would I do that? Or I'm just a good person. I'm not going to do it. But man, the civil just disobedience that's going to happen over time, or civil war, I think this left and right is so tribal and so paralyzed, and that we all fight between the both sides, and we can't talk anymore, have conversations with each other and sort of say, what's your point? Oh, now what's your point? Oh, well, this is this. It's not so factual because there's always another side to the story. There's usually this side and that side, and there's usually something in the middle for everything. So it's going to be an interesting couple days. I'm going to continue to do my research, continue to sort of gather the information that I learn from, and then try to bring it out in some simple terms here. What happens if Donald Trump really gets, found guilty of this? And, this process takes time. This is not like he goes to this and he pleads guilty or not guilty and it happens tomorrow. This is like a 2, 3, 4 year process of fact finding and gathering all the information and then finally going to trial. But let's say the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, gets convicted of a felony and he has to go to prison. Does he take Secret Service with him, and do they just hang out with him over there? What does that look like? And that's crazy, right? So you got to think globally here about all this. Hey, Donald Trump's not a spring chicken, as we all know, and I'm just surprised on how aggressive they have been. But man, they're being like super, super aggressive here. So, anyways, hopefully you made it this far to the video. Like and subscribe. Give me your opinions. I know you're gonna have some opinions here. I'd love to hear from them because I love seeing everyone's viewpoints. Let you be on the right side, left side, or the middle. Give me your opinions. I'd love to hear it. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.